Yep. Miss Love is definitely in heat. We got a helicopter tail there. Alrighty. It's Saturday morning, and so far so good. There was a little drizzle with a little bit harder rain when I first came out to do chores, so I'm a little damp. It's just that it wasn't raining hard enough to wear my raincoat because it's a pain in the butt. But not enough rain to like wet the ground under the car or anything. So, but they are calling for, I think, almost a half an inch today, more than a half an inch tomorrow, and I forget how much on on Monday. So, yeah. But then we're gonna be warm and sunny for the next 10 days when this passes through. Well, here it comes. See how this works. Okay, how funny. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get my finger to point. Where's my finger? Right there. You see the two big fat leaves back in there? That looks like a pumpkin vine, and yeah, so like right there on the other side of those little tree stumps. So I'm wondering, some pack rats or something have been in the house and got in some of my seeds and things. So I'm thinking that might have washed out of a pack rat nest higher up the hill. That just cracks me up. Okay, Saturday afternoon. I spent, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours over at the disaster relief center, filling out forms and talking to people and stuff like that. So I do have some folks should be calling me or coming by in the next few days to see about like the tree and the Model T truck frame down in the creek bottom, and possibly, depending on how thin they're stretched, maybe some help getting all the dirt and stuff off the patio. And that part isn't a super big deal because, I mean, I can do that, a little at a time. Or maybe I can find somebody, in a few weeks as things settle down, somebody with a little bobcat or something. We'll have to pull a gate post and move a bunch of junk, but they could get in there and make it a little bit faster getting all that dirt off. But I was just up here. I realized I didn't feed the little chickens this morning, the ones that are the youngest that hatched this year. But they usually have feed left over when I go in the morning, so I didn't worry about them. But right now they were out and they were pecking around in their trough, so I fed them. And I thought, well, I want to check this garden, so I'm going to check around in here. I got some tomato plants going. I don't think there's any fruit or anything. There's some basil over there. I ought to pick that, and if nothing else, I can dry it or make a batch of pesto to put in the freezer. And then right here, the Mexican sunflowers, Tahonias. Those are pretty cool. Those are volunteers from last year, and those are also Tahonias volunteering from last year in a smaller pot. And then there's a whole bunch of mushrooms in that pot and growing down here in the ground. But I think I've said it before, I do not know enough about wild fungi or fungi in particular to know what is safe to eat and what is not. And I know that there are some very poisonous mushrooms that look very similar to edible ones. So we don't mess with anything growing in the yard. The other thing is the butterfly bush that I pruned that day a couple 3 weeks ago, and I thought these stems had all died, But look at that. There are some little green buds sprouting, so we should be seeing some root growth. Let's see. Nothing out the bottom of the pot yet, but that tells me that they're sprouting some roots and stuff. So that'll be very cool. I'll have some more little shrubs to plant around. Freya, psst, get out of there, you stinker. This is the set of hoops over the little raised bed in here, and it looks like the collards and kaolin things are doing pretty good. The wind has kind of tore up my fastening here at the end, but so there's collards down there, and then some lanceolata kale. Looks like we probably got a few who knows, could be slugs or snails, could be cabbage worms. I don't see any. Could be birds pecking. That kind of looks like bird damage there. The little radishes have all popped up, and with all this rain that we've been getting, hopefully they will grow pretty quick. And the mystery cucurbit is taken off here. It's trying to grow into the shade cloth. Get out of there. No shade cloth. Might have to pull the shade cloth around in front of it and fasten it back up, but it's doing really good. Can't quite tell if that's, I think that's going to be a male flower, and there's a little male flower over there, so we ought to see some female flowers pretty soon and figure out what that is. I think it's some kind of cucumber, but we'll find out. There is all kinds of things sprouting up all over the ground. Bunch of baby hollyhocks there. I probably should move them. Bunch of wild morning glories. What has surprised me is these are Cuckoozy gourds that grew last year, and I didn't get them off the vine or in the house or anything, and they were laying down here in the weeds, and I'm real surprised that no rodent has come along and eaten a hole in them to take all the seeds out. Anyway, I just threw them up on this shelf. They're pretty hard. I ought to probably take them in the house and let them the skins dry out, and if nothing else, harvest some seeds. Lots of junk and leftovers from last year. A lot of little weeds are sprouting up and growing. So things just want to live. It's up here in front of where the goats are. That's the lemongrass. It's not looking too bad. Oh, got a bucket of water here. Gotta get that dumped. It's already got mosquito larvae in it. That's a very important thing if you live where it rains a lot or where you have a flood. You want to get rid of all the water, standing water, so that you don't grow mosquitoes. Most of my little potted plants are doing okay. The other day it got really hot and dry, and some of these little kales tried to shrivel up, but I watered them. It looks like most of them have come back. So this is the dwarf curly kale, some collard greens, dillweed, red mustard, some catnip. And then these are more of the same. Some of them are in bigger pots, and some are in 6-packs or 4-packs. Some of those I'll probably plant out here if I can get a hot minute. And then others I will probably try to take to the farmer's market in Superior next week. I am crossing my fingers I can make it down there next Saturday. And up here, the Jerusalem artichokes are almost done blooming. Now I got these originally from Joseph Lofthouse, and he had said in his descriptions that some of them at least might make seeds because they were crosses between different varieties. And apparently, if they're native to North America, and apparently if they're an isolated wild one, growing wild, they don't really set seed. But when you grow several from different places and they are different, I don't know if there's different species or just different variations of the same species. I haven't looked at the botany. But then sometimes you get seeds. So we'll see if these make any viable seeds or if these little heads just dry up and fall off. What are you doing, Freya Cat? Are you hunting? Oh, I see some little clovers popping up. I don't remember planting clovers in here. They might have come from something else or somewhere else. There's some more little bitty tiny mushrooms. And look at that, our sweet potatoes that I planted like, I don't know, a month ago, 3 weeks ago. They were like half dead. The vines are doing really good. If we don't freeze too soon, they could make some little potatoes, and if not, it's okay. This has been a wonky, crazy year for the garden as it is. Okay, there are a lot more pomegranates on this tree than I thought. Oh, that one's splitting. All this extra rain, it's splitting, so I'm going to pick that one. We'll see if it's any good. The other ones look okay so far. An oregano patch over there that had almost died out from not enough water, and it's coming back. Some kind of little pumpkin. I don't know. You can see even right here, this garden space had a lot of water running down this hill. All that brush and stuff is just from when that's the ditch, that's the drainage ditch beside that fence that goes up the hill to help keep water from coming down in my house. And it was clogged up. That's why we had the flood in the back porch. And the guys were just cutting bushes and brush and stuff out of the way, and I told them it was okay to throw it over the fence so we'd get it later. So I'll get out here eventually and get that drug out of here. Bigger pieces of scrub oak and stuff I can cut for firewood, and the rest we can just, I don't know, make a hugelkultur or something somewhere. This little fig tree is still alive, and I do not remember the name of it. I do not remember if this was a mission or if it's a different one, so I will have to ask my friend. And then over here, some dead yucca. That was part of what they were pulling down from the ditch digging. My other little fig tree is doing okay. I think it's lost its tag too. But there's a bunch of brush and stuff to cut and clear and get out of the way up here. Though this is not a priority at the moment. Would like to get it out of here soon, but it might be a bit. And that's the ditch they dug with the equipment. So it's just a nice wide sort of flat space, a little deeper towards the hillside there to help catch water coming off this hill up here above my house. But there's a lot of places that had water running, large amounts of water running, that I do not remember large amounts of water coming down in the past. So I think some of it was just we were so hot and so dry. Oh, what's that? An artifact. What is that? Something off a Thunderbird. Was that maybe the center of the steering wheel or something? How funny. I'll have to save that. I save little doodads like that, just stuff I find laying around. Coming up here though, oh, they're still there. How funny. When I first moved back into this house, this area's been washed out a couple of times in the past. This is where all the water was running down into the back of my house. It went straight down behind a retaining wall, hit the sidewalk, and went right there into the back door. And the guys with the machine dug it and got a lot of extra dirt here. And on the other side filled up the little gully. But years ago, 40 years ago, when I first moved back, the yard was around the house was full of irises, these bearded irises. And there were a lot of white ones. And I just brought them up and planted them up here to help hold soil. And you can see they've done pretty good right along in here on this bit. They get absolutely no water. And when I looked up here a while back, I thought they were all dead. But since we got rain, they've put out new leaves and they are sprouting up. And so that's really awesome. But this is part of the issue here, so I'll have to try and get another day. I'll climb up that way and see if I can figure out what has caused this to start eroding so bad and letting so much water down, and see if we can figure out what to do up farther up. I have no idea what that noise is. If it's a bird? Cat was over here. Oh, I see it. It's a little tiny bird. And it just flipped to the back side of the tree. At first I was like not sure. Was that a rattlesnake noise? I didn't think it was, but yeah, it's some kind of bird. I can't see what kind it is. Alrighty. It's like a little after 5 on Sunday morning. Looking okay so far. It's been raining very heavy, off and on, overnight in the last couple of hours. But looks like the culverts are mainly clear. Not sure where that water over there is coming from, off the hill, probably through the buck pen, but so far so good. It's Sunday, as you saw when I was walking around with my headlamp in the dark. Things aren't too bad yet. As long as the rain keeps coming down fairly slow, I think we'll be all right. Just a little wet. Part of the girls' pen is wet. Some of their minerals are wet again, but I think we have a couple of roof leaks and other issues I need to get situated. The boys' pen did look like they had a good amount of water run through one side, but the area where I feed their hay seems to be okay. It's a little wet around the edges, but it's all right. The hay tub was dry and stuff, so hopefully it won't get any worse. I haven't walked up the hill to check the ditch up there yet, so I'll probably do that after a while if it's not raining too hard. We are expecting more rain off and on today, off and on tonight, and some more tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Oh. Okay, here's the cattle guard. Definitely need to clean some of this out so it's not coming down the hill towards the house and the goat pens. Looks like our ditch did exactly what it should, helping divert the water down in this direction and not towards the house. I'll have to walk up there later. Okay, since Wednesday night, I think it was, or afternoon, until Sunday morning, that's almost 2 inches. What is that? 5, 6, 7. About 1 7/8 or 7/10, I mean. So, yeah, that's nothing compared to what we had last week. So when we had 3 inches in 20 minutes. So it's okay. As long as it keeps coming like that, we'll be all right. Good morning, Freya Cat. Go hunt some rats, sister. Only been raining again for a few minutes. I just left downtown Miami. I'm on my way home. That's the bottom of my hill. You can see the creek is running already. Well, I did not finish all my errands because the streets in Miami were starting to flood again. Like, there was this much water from the rains earlier, and while I was at my friend Bunny's place, it started raining really hard again, and when I left, the water was right by in front of her building was getting really deep. So I did not finish my errands because this is a mess. And that's looking down towards the mines. I have parked on my bottom lot because I'm not sure what my driveway is going to do today with all of this wet stuff. Yeah. That's a ditch that is formed in the side of the hill beside the driveway across the creek, and it's now a little waterfall. Okay, it's been raining hard for a few minutes now, and so far I'm not seeing any drippies up there, so I think maybe the chimney cap was the issue. Cross my fingers. Okay, there is a little bit of water coming down the sidewalk and some coming off the hill right there, but I'm not sure exactly where that's coming from. If our ditch is already running. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, there's a little bit of water coming down the ditch right there. That's coming down the side of the hill from the ditch on the hill. Hopefully whatever's going on right there will not get any worse, but I don't know, this is really coming down quite a bit now. Okay, and I can see a fair amount of water running down the driveway. Crossing my fingers that doesn't mean the culverts are plugged. A lot of water coming down off that hill over there. Okay, the rain has slacked off for a little bit, so I want to take a quick look around. I can hear the creek running like crazy. Yeah, coming right towards my driveway again. Yeah, that's where the waterfall was earlier. There was a fair amount of water running down the driveway, so it made me a little bit concerned that maybe we were over the culverts again, but it might also just be runoff up here. You hear the culverts, they're really... Yep, you all wet, digger. See, all your holes are full of water. How's your house? Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, does not look like we came over the top, really. Maybe slightly at the peak here. We have it. It looks like all three culverts are draining pretty good. A lot of water coming down from up there. Let's see. Okay, we are starting to get a little bit of a clog there. See if I can get that stick out. But I'll have to go get my pliers and unwire this fence. And yes, I will be very, very careful, okay? Some water has been running off from up there. It looks like even more is running down through the buck pen. Ay, ay, ay. Are you guys super wet? Okay, they're all standing in their house. Yeah, we're pretty sloppy up here. There's still a lot of water coming down that little gully there. I know, boys. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it right now, guys. Okay? Okay, I'm just going to pull this stick out and to help make sure that culvert doesn't clog up any worse. Okay, I'm going to walk up the ditch on the hill. It's a lot deeper than it was early this morning because we had some more pretty heavy rain. And stuff has washed down and things. But I want to check this area right here above the house because I was seeing some water coming down. There's trash and stuff up here I've never seen before. Have no clue where it came from. Okay, this is one of the areas that ran before. It looks okay. It doesn't look like it ran this morning. Maybe a little bit just from the rain itself, but not from the ditch. Oh, there's a breakthrough right there. Okay, that's maybe where the water was coming from, some of it. So I need to get up here with the shovel and get that. And then the guys worked on this quite a bit. This looks okay. There was some runoff, but some of that could have just been the rain itself. The ditch here is much deeper and the edge is much wider because we're trying to keep the rain coming from up there down and getting it diverted down the hill, down the ditch, down that way, instead of coming all the way off and right into my house. So, you know, guys, I was here this morning and I'm really glad that I left when I did, because look at it now. Downtown Miami at the YMCA, Miami Mercantile, Bunny's Antique Shop. Yeah. Anybody lose their chapstick? Wow. So I am not sure what this little seedling is. Not anything I've ever grown before that I recognize. You can see whatever it was, it had very large cotyledons, and but it's got these great big leaves. So it is not a locust tree. Those true leaves don't really exactly look like peach or apricot or anything. So I'm not sure. Just sprouting up here in the muck from the flood. Okay, this is how much rain I've gotten since 7 o'clock this morning. Another inch and 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. Yeah, I when I saw that was a tenth over what I had photographed this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, did I empty it? I had to go back and watch my video, but I could see I had poured it out before I put it back down. So, yeah. So that math hurts my brain, so I don't know how many inches it is. Let's see. Because we had 7 and 8, that's 15, and an inch is 10. So I had 3.5 inches, I think. Check my math, but that's like 3.5 in 3 days. That's not bad. That's way better than 3 inches in 20 minutes. Way better. Things are holding up. We're not too bad. We are expecting some more rain tonight. This is Sunday evening. So, cross my fingers that everything continues to hold up and we don't get too much more. We really don't need it now. Can we have it in June? That would be really nice. Oh man. The bottom of my feed barrel's leaking and a bunch of my alfalfa pellets are wet in the bottom of this bag. Holy moly. Well, I'm glad that that's all that's left out of the last bag is just this little bit. And there's not really anything else down there but trash. I'm guessing the bottom of the barrel has a hole in it. We'll have to see. And from the last flooding, of course, there's all kinds of mud and stuff. It was sitting up on some pavers, but now the bottom's buried in mud. Oy, oy. Came out to do chores, and it started raining some more. Oy, oy, oy. Hi, Tino. You boys all wet. I'm sorry. Okay, I gotta get a culvert unclogged here. Because that is blocking the center culvert and we need to move rocks and dirt and get this crap out of here. Just like a little after 12. It has not rained all this morning, but we still have water running down the creek. Just a little bit. Really glad I took the time this morning to clear the culverts before I left for work. It looks like we're not doing too bad. Middle one's still clogged up with some rocks and dirt. I hate that when it's got ribs and everything clogs up in it. So this is the big hole that washed out, and what I think is happening is the ground is so wet now that little trickle of water is just coming out like under where the culverts are. On the upstream side, the culverts are well cemented in and there is a small concrete apron down below the lip of them to help keep any water from getting under them and washing them out, but this is concerning. So yeah, the two outside culverts are running real good. That center one is blocked up with some rocks and dirt. When the water goes down, I'll check for debris in it, but
It's always clogging up.
It's almost 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon. We had a little rain. Creek's running a little bit. The sun is peeking in and out of a cloud, and we're surrounded by big clouds, and we have more rain coming this evening and tonight, and then hopefully this big old mess will be over. Hey guys, that white thing you see here is the top of my bucket that I've been carrying my milk stuff in. It is Monday evening. We had more rain. The creek's running. Not real full, but a fair amount. We are hoping that this is the last wave of rain. We're still very cloudy. We probably have, I think it said, an 88% chance around 6 o'clock. It's like 5-ish. So I am going to try and hurry up and get all my chores done and get in the house before it hits again. And then just deal with stuff tomorrow. Everything's just been crazy. Everything is sopping wet. I have no idea how much rain I got today. I'll see if I can remember to grab the rain gauge and look at it when I get done milking. This has been crazy pants. I've lived here most of my life. And while, yes, I do remember big flash floods that did damage and closed roads and different things, I don't know that we've ever in the history of our area had one that has done as much as this one has done. Between the storm, what was it, the 20-something of September, into September, and then this round. So, it's going to take us a really long time, my whole area, to recover and rebuild and try and do some stuff to keep things from happening again. It's going to change my whole layout, my whole ideas of how I can do things here, and I'm still not sure what the future is going to look like around here. It would be a whole lot easier if I was on flatter ground, or my hills weren't quite as steep. My hills are about 45 degrees or more, and really hard to work with. And I have very little flat ground. Actually, no ground here is truly flat. It all tilts in one or two or sometimes 3 different directions. So yeah. Whew. Just trying to get through this so we can figure out how to get on with things. It has definitely put a kink in my schedule of working stuff. I was really hoping the weather would have cooled off nice last week, and I could have processed some various old hens and things, and then moved the chickens from the front yard to the big chicken house. Obviously none of that happened because it was hot right up till the rain started, and now it's cooling off. I definitely am not getting a buck pen finished anytime soon, so that means Mr. Bentley will be staying at my friend's house indefinitely. I have very sadly decided that Miss Pinnowbean is probably going to be tacos, because she's just got multiple strikes against her. She is not super productive, which part of that is because she's a first freshener with a single kid and had mastitis twice. But my biggest issue is that she still leaks if she gets a little too full. And it doesn't have to be by much. Even with the new skin on her, one day I was real late coming to milk, and she was starting to leak around the new skin. So, the liquid bandage stuff. So, and then another strike is that even though we've been milking for 6 months, as soon as she finishes the part of her snack that she likes the best, she starts trying to pull her head out of the head gate and dance around on the milk stand, knock the pail over and stuff like that. So I'm just real over it. And as much as she is a sweet girl and I love her, she is not economically viable, and she has problems that I will not sell or give to somebody else. Okay, the buck stops here. I am not one of those people that will send out the problem child for somebody else to deal with. I will take care of the situation. So that will not happen right away. It will be a little bit before we do that. So, whoops, y'all are falling around there. See if I can get Ezzy her snack. What do you want? Oh my goodness, is it crack time? It's crack time, huh? Okay, we'll get your snack. Come on, Bambi, hurry! Hurry, sister! Before the rain gets worse. Come on! I know it's wet. Come on, mamas. I know. Come on, mamas. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, sister. Hurry. I'm standing under a drip. I want to get out of the drip. Come on. There you go. Good girl. Esmeralda is sucking the rainwater out of the shade cloth. These girls do love rainwater. If there's even a little puddle of rainwater, even if it's dirty, they will suck it right up, every last drop. You are too funny, sister. Esmeralda is sucking the rainwater out of the shade cloth. There are at least 3 buckets of water in that pan. What are you doing? You're goofy. Yes, you are. You're goofy. Though these girls do really love rainwater. They will drink all the rainwater that they can find in a puddle. You're so funny. All right, let's see how much rain we got today. Or since the last time I checked. So that looks like 1 inch and 7/10. And yes, I'm pouring it out. It's like, that seems to be the magic number, 1 inch and 7 or 1 inch and 8. Good morning. It's Tuesday. We had more rain overnight. The creek is running a little bit this morning, but I haven't noticed any major damage. We did have a good amount of runoff up here around the goat pens, but it's just where the rain hit and it was already too wet, and so it ran down the driveway. So you see a lot of rocks and dirt have piled up below the culverts. One culvert's still running. Not that much water coming down now. It hasn't rained in a couple of hours. But I really hate that ribbed culvert in the middle because it just catches rocks and then everything gets backed up. So I wish they were all real smooth. Well, we didn't get too much overnight. It looks like maybe a tenth, a tad over. Alrighty, so the next thing is to go check the ditch up on the hill and see how it's doing. Okay, here's the cattle guard. I need to work on this area some. Make sure the water's going to go down to the creek and not down the driveway. I think the ditch is a little deeper over here than when they dug it. Sun's coming up over the hill. Okay, so there's a little spot there. Water's been coming down. And here. Okay, this is the area above the house. Most of that looks okay. So this section of fence is not looking too hot. We'll have to get up here at some point and shore that up a little bit. I did have a little water run down from up here. And I think some of it is just maybe some here. And some right up there. I think the rest of it looks okay. The ditch got really deep right here because we have a lot of water coming off up there. So that needs to be worked on higher up. I'll have to see if I can get up there later and see where it starts and see if we can get some vegetation or something up that way. So let's go all the way up just for funsies, but I think I'll leave my shovel down here. I don't think I need it higher up. Okay. It's been a while since I walked all the way up here. Oh, somebody's water bottle. Okay. Yeah, some stuff coming down that way, which is part of what runs down towards the neighbors. I think this isn't too horrible right here. Okay, I knew there was a place where water was coming down here. So let's fill that hole up. Okay, trying to dig this clump of little sodal out of here. Sodal is this Like when I grew up, we always just called it yucca, but it has thin, flexible leaves, and it grows in big clumps, very thick. Really good erosion control. I understand it's not the best in a wildfire. If it is dead and cuts loose, it can roll down the hill as a burning ball of fire. But for erosion and stuff, it's great. So I'm trying to dig these out of the middle of the ditch so I can go plant them on the edge higher up where we're having issues. We are down here cutting up the dead tree and see if we can move the excellent stuff. So we already moved some of the rocks. We shoved them up against the bank, help protect it a little bit. Yeehaw. Slowly slogging through this stuff. Thank you, Dawn.
Welcome.
Okay, we were able to get the water diverted away from the creek bank. It's hard to move that axle because that chunk of tree is still growing around it. But Dawn worked really hard getting a lot of that done for me, and I appreciate it. And now we're just kind of clearing up the driveway a little bit to get some equipment in tomorrow. Okay, we were able to get the water diverted away from the creek bank. It's hard to move that axle because that chunk of tree is still growing around it. But Dawn worked really hard getting a lot of that done for me, and I appreciate it. And now we're just kind of clearing up the driveway a little bit to get some equipment in tomorrow. So we got a fair amount of stuff moved up out of the driveway so we can get a small piece of equipment up in here. And we're gonna pull the fence right here between the dough pen and the first T-post there, because that's the lowest bank, least steep that we can go down. So I'll have to clear a bunch of the mesquite trees out of there, and then he can get in there, and we're gonna work on stabilizing the driveway. Well, Freya Cat's found a comfy spot to curl up in for the afternoon. Yeah? Hi. Yep. Hi, sister. Hi, sister. Alrighty. It's Tuesday evening, almost dark. I'm milking. We got a fair amount accomplished today. I fixed those places up in the ditch on the hill. My friend Dawn came, and we were able to cut up that dead tree and get the pieces out of the way, and we shoveled a lot of dirt in the creek bottom so that we could make the water flow around and go the other way and stay away from the bank that's trying to collapse, because it is undercut right there at the driveway. And I think there's a gentleman coming with equipment tomorrow. We're going to see if we can get him down into the creek. We think we have a way. We have our fingers crossed, where he can move some dirt around, and we might be able to start setting T-posts and stuff like that to try and just build up a barrier and build it up so that it'll hold the dirt and hold the driveway. So, Bambi, are you pooping? And you just peed on the milk stand. What is that about? Huh? That's crazy pants. What are you doing, girl? Oh my gosh. I can't believe you did that. You are a real stinker today. Alrighty, this morning we're taking down shade cloth. I took down that part. It's kind of stuck on the fence. That black piece is the one that the dog trashed. Still not thrilled with him. I'm going to take this big piece down here because that will let a little more sun in and help dry us out. I'm going to leave the ones up out here, at least for right now, because they do help block the wind a little bit. That is a massive mesquite tree root. And 2 weeks ago, it was not visible. That's how much stuff I have lost off my bank. This gully is now probably 10 feet wide up at the top and 3 or 4 feet down here towards the bottom. And it was just a little tiny thing. Up there, it's probably 10 feet deep. And it was just a very small runoff area from up above. Okie dokie, Wednesday evening. And I think the last rain was on Monday. And we are still draining water from higher up. Up there where that telephone pole is probably 500 feet higher than where I'm at right now. And so we will probably be draining water for a few days, even though the rain has stopped. I guess I forgot to chain the gate up, and Ezzy's in heat. All right, come on, sister. They're going to take 2 hands, maybe 3. Whew, that was a close call. Now, hopefully no boys decide they can jump the fence. What happens is the gate latches are just those little ones that latch over the pipe. You know, the little forked ones. And the girls have beat on the gate so much that they can get them to spin and let them out. And apparently I forgot to put the chain on after I dropped hay and filled water buckets. And then when I was putting Ezzy back in, Bambi is trying to get out. I was like, oh no. Sorry, boys. Nobody's getting a date tonight. Nope. Sorry. Yeah, I know. She got you guys all excited. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No dates. I do have your hay, though. The question is, can I get in and out without letting any boys out? Oh, look. They have played around with the hay tub and scooched it over close enough to the fence. I think I can throw just throw their hay right on in there and not have to open the gate right this minute. It's bad enough when they can hear and smell one of the girls in heat down in their pen, but to have that girl run up here next to them, I'm falling down the hill here, is not good. The gas company is purging the gas lines. Good morning. It's Friday. Just waiting for Bean to finish her snack. Been another crazy week around here. Just I've had some wonderful helpers come in, and they're taking the sheetrock out of the back porch that got wet, and took the wet carpet out of the living room. That was awesome. Hauled a whole bunch of trash out. There's still more trash, but there's always trash, right? I think a friend of mine is going to come by this afternoon. His business is fencing, and we're going to discuss that and how we're going to proceed and what we're going to do, and go from there. The weather has definitely changed. It's been a little chilly the last couple of mornings. My ears were cold. I had to go find my bandana this morning. So now we're definitely headlamp season, both ends of the day, because our days are also noticeably shorter than they were. Just trying to get all the milk put away, wash the dishes real quick. There's some trash still in here in the kitchen. I'll see if I can get it down in the trash can and then take a breath and figure out what I need to do first this morning. Because my brain is tired. I don't know what I need to do right now. That better, sister? Yeah. At least it's not squishy, huh? So I've been mucking out here in the girls' pen finally. We're still really mushy and soft and yeah. So I've been mucking out and then spreading a little bit of lime, help dry things out and hopefully discourage some of these flies. But I am going to have to leave here in a bit because it's almost time to take Tino to my friend who is going to take him to the auction for me. All right, found a rat hole making out pins. Okay, that was a little bit of work, but not quite as bad as the last time I had to load Bentley. I just kind of forgot to leave myself an escape hatch here. Morning. Apparently, I forgot to tell you what I was doing with that little goat in the car. So, Mr. Tino, since I did not get any interest in anyone buying him as a little breeding buck or anything, I did load him up, and a friend of mine was taking a load of goats to the auction, and so that's where he was going. It is so weird to hear myself walking on the floor because this house has never, that I've lived in it, had anything but carpet. So that's kind of strange to hear my boots banging on the floor when I walk. I'm so tired. My brain's tired. Been a lot of stress the last couple of 3 weeks. I've been to agencies and things and got a little bit of a run around. I'm thinking that sometimes the right don't know what the left is doing, and so anyway, but I think we got it straightened out. I'm just waiting for a call back to make an appointment to go see about some monetary flood relief, like to help with replacing the floor and fixing the back porch and stuff like that. Though my volunteers and friends have been really awesome, and I really appreciate all of them. My brain's just mush. So if you've called or texted me, if you made a donation, thank you, bless your heart. I so appreciate all of the donations I've gotten. I really do. But if I haven't responded to you, I just haven't had 5 minutes to do stuff. And right now I'm going to have a cup of tea and breathe. Alrighty. I don't know if it's going to show up there. Yeah, there it is. We're still running water down the creek bottom, just draining out from higher up above us by whatever's caught in little hollow places and stuff and seep down through the ground and coming out here because 500 feet lower than the highest point nearest me. So yeah, when I was a kid, the creek ran kind of like that almost all year, even into June. Like it might dry up at the surface right before the monsoon started. And now we go months and months and months with no rain at all and no moisture in our ground whatsoever. So I don't know. What's the matter, Bashful? Are you looking for Tino? Yeah, I know. But he's not coming back, buddy. He's been calling for him since we left this morning. Yeah, he's not coming back. It's just you and Mr. Spots. Yeah, it's just you and Mr. Spots now. Yeah, over here anyway. What's you looking at, buddy? Yes, I have your minerals. I gotta clean your feeder out. It's full of water. So it's been kind of a crazy week. A little frustrating that we can't go a little faster, but we can only go as fast as we can go. I'm still waiting to hear back from my friend about fencing. I'm still trying to find somebody to tell me what might be the best way to take care of the side of the creek where it's washing by the driveway. I'm still trying to figure out the best places to put goat houses and pens and things for the future. And it's actually starting to get a little bit chilly in the morning, so I'm like, oh yay, we need to get all that extra firewood cut and stacked and get the house mucked around so we can make fires when it gets really chilly. But I know it'll all come eventually. It's just some things I would really like to come a little faster. But that's kind of it for this week. Y'all have a nice weekend and a good week, and we'll catch you next time.